Florence Griffith Joyners, nicknamed Flo-Jo, holds two of the most scrutinized world records in track and field. 10.49 in the 100 meters and 21.34 in the 200 meters. They've stood for 35 years, even with the crazy amount of controversy surrounding them. Drug accusations, abnormally explosive improvements, faulty wind readings, teammates snitching, disapproval from other pros, retiring, riders' random drug testing became mandatory. Yet, the fact remains, these are the world records. But the real question is, how much longer will they stand? We are currently in the strongest era of women's sprinting in history, yet I believe there are only 3 athletes left with a real shot at taking one of the most prestigious world records in track and field. Starting off with my third pick is Elaine Thompson-Herah. Her 2021 season is the catalyst that kicked female sprinting into high gear. And really, the proof is in the pudding. 10 out of the 20 fastest 100 and 200 meter performances ever took place during this race or after. That means 50% of the top 20 fastest times ever were run in the last 3 years. That's absolutely insane. For that 2021 season, she won a historic double at the Tokyo Olympics, first taking the 100 meter gold in a time of 10.61, and then proceeding to decimate the 200 meter field in a time of 21.53. At the time of these races, those times were now the second fastest times ever ran in each event. Not even Flo-Jo herself had run faster, besides her singular world record times. But less than 30 days later, this would happen.
Understated celebration. Goodness me. It's the second fastest time in history. Only Flo-Jo has gone quicker.
An astonishing 10.54. Again, a new second fastest time of all time. And the hype was solidified. Everyone was counting down the days till she broke one of the 35-year-old, debatably cheated world records. But cut to 2023, and we're yet to see her back at full form on the track. She's had a rough last 2 seasons, dealing with a continuously nagging Achilles injury, not even having entered the latter stages of another season where athletes tend to peak. As it stands, Thompson-Herah is now 31, and has recently shown she's ready to enter form again, actually racing at the end of this 2023 season, and running some pretty promising times. Yes, her age might be a concern for some, as typically sprinters have been known to peak during their 20s, but this last decade has shown some fantastic sprinters peaking in their 30s. So, it can be done. In addition, the Paris Olympics is looming around the corner, and there's gotta be a fire burning beneath Thompson-Herah, as she's had to idly sit by as Richardson, Fraser-Pryce and Jackson crushed disgustingly fast times. We might just see magic happen. My second pick is the most recent queen of the women's 100 meter dash, Sha'Carri Richardson. At age 23, she has the most potential and time to crack the 100 meter record. She's proven she's mentally capable, coming back from a 2022 which held one of the most embarrassing and meltdown-filled years in track and field, to then go on and win the 100 meter world champs gold in a championship record time, personal best, and against the strongest 100 meter women's field in history.
Shericka Jackson, is she just going to do it? Oh, on the near side, right at the end.
But she's also got the stats backing her too. She ran 13 races this season, all 13 being sub 11 seconds, and she even averaged an elite time of 10.79 through the entire season. That time alone would make her the 5th fastest this year. And then it gets better. When we directly compare this season with the previous 3 greatest 100 meter seasons of all time, we get this. First, we gotta pay our dues. That 2022 season by Shelly-Ann was beyond phenomenal. Aged 35, 0 wind-aided times, and absolutely dominating this leaderboard. GOAT status. But Richardson herself secured the 3rd best 100 meter season of all time, at the age of 23. The second youngest on this list is Flo-Jo at 28. So if you consider age 30 to be a decline, she's got a minimum of 7 years to better this effort. But it gets even crazier. Richardson's average time this season is better than both Thompson-Herah's and Flo-Jo's 100 meter personal bests at the same age of 23. But not Fraser-Pryce, because she's just like that. Richardson is in a position to capitalize and is my personal favourite to take a Flo-Jo world record. 2024 is going to be wild for the women's 100 meter. 3 of the best of all time, facing down in a year more meaningful than any other. The top contender and the closest to do it so far is Shericka Jackson. 2 times we have seen Jackson come agonizingly close to the 200 meter world record, as she sits holding 3 of the 5 fastest times ever run by a woman in the 200 meters. In the 2022 World Champs, we saw her run a stunning 21.45, number 3 all time, blowing out the field and celebrating like no other with the hard realization she can take this record. Then in the 2023 World Champs, under immense pressure and world record expectations, we saw a 21.41, gapping the field by a mile in a new championship record. But at the end of this performance, there was only disappointment across her face. This was the slowest time she was expecting, and she even publicly said it.
Even though I wrote the 21:40 on the bib, when I saw it the time, I was like, ugh.
This 21:41 really deserves its respects. She ran the rounds and the final of the 100 meter, picking up a silver in 10.72 in the process, and against stronger competition than Flo-Jo could even imagine. Then ran the 200 meter rounds against equally as tough opposition, 6 races in 8 days, to then come out and nail the 2nd fastest time ever. I truly believe if she had only ran the 200 meter at the World Champs, she would have taken the record. But that's the nature of the game, and that would also spoil the fun. She's 29 years old, and with athletes in this day and age being able to run peak times for longer, it's safe to say she's got a few years. The 200 meter world record is a ticking time bomb. We're all just waiting for it to happen, including Jackson herself. Lastly, as a tribute, I can't forget the GOAT, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce.
Not on this occasion, she's not, no! The pair of them with a 2 meter gap behind them. The winning time, 10.60, and the win 1.7. At last they get a
Also
lead.
known as the Mummy Rocket, which I'm glad she likes because I sure as hell wouldn't like to be called that. Her 2022 season's average speaks for itself. The greatest women's 100 meter season of all time, at age 35. She's even run 3 of the 10 fastest times ever, and all of them were done well past the age of 30. I've said it once, but she is the LeBron James of sprinting. But I don't think she'll be contesting the world record at age 37. Realistically, she is past her prime, and she's even announced next year as her final season, retiring after the 2024 Olympics. At the end of the day, Flo-Jo's world records of 10.49 and 21.34 were phenomenally executed performances, but they're a bit of an eyesore at this point. 35 years, with controversy so deep, documentaries have been made on them. But here we are, heading into an Olympic year with an aging cast of the strongest women's lineup to ever hit the track. Elaine Thompson-Herah coming back from injury, undoubtedly with some extra motivation after watching some historic races go down without her. Sha'Carri Richardson with a matured outlook and belief in herself to be the world's best. Shericka Jackson literally a windy day away from the record. And the GOAT herself, Fraser-Pryce, firing up for her last season of competition ever. Not to mention the literal dozen of other women who would be world champions in any other era. Even if the record doesn't go down, next year's 2024 Olympics is going to be fucking remarkable. Cheers for watching.